In the silent corridors of the night, where consciousness dissolves into the realm of the unseen, lies a mysterious portal, one that beckons the soul to traverse beyond the veil of mortality. The teachings of Edgar Cayce unveil a profound truth, that our dreams are not mere illusions but sacred gateways through which the spirits of the departed attempt to communicate, whispering secrets stored within the Akashic records. These messages, encoded by the divine dance of karma and reincarnation, reveal that our journey is an eternal quest for balance and awakening. As the crystalline consciousness unfolds and Christ consciousness beckons, we are invited to unlock the hidden chambers of the cosmos, gaining access to the eternal truths that shape our existence beyond the physical realm. The question remains, are you truly listening to the call of the dream portal? In the quiet stillness of the night, as the veils between worlds thin and the soul seeks its next awakening, the teachings of Edgar Cayce emerge as a guiding light, an ancient lighthouse illuminating the depths of the spiritual ocean. His legacy, woven into the fabric of the universe, unravels the profound mysteries of the soul and the sacred significance of the Akashic records. These records, inscribed in the cosmic ether, hold the keys to understanding life beyond the physical realm, revealing the eternal voyage of consciousness that spans lifetimes and dimensions. The journey begins within the depths of Cayce's insights, where he consistently emphasized that the soul is an immortal essence, an eternal spark of divine consciousness. This spark, once ignited by the Creator, seeks expression and growth through countless incarnations. As we venture into this understanding, it becomes clear that every life is a chapter in a grand spiritual story, a narrative that the soul writes across the vast tapestry of time and space. Cayce's readings reveal that the soul does not perish with the body. Rather, it traverses the corridors of eternity, returning to the celestial library of the Akashic records. These records, often described as the Book of Life, serve as the universe's collective memory, an infinite vibrational archive where every thought, deed, and intention is encoded. They are the cosmic blueprint of our existence, accessible to those who seek with pure intent and spiritual insight. To the untrained eye, they may seem like mere echoes of past events, but to the initiated, they are the living, breathing consciousness of the universe itself, an eternal library of wisdom that guides the soul's evolution. In the teachings of Cayce, the Akashic records are more than just history. They are the vital link that connects us to understanding our purpose beyond death. They reveal that each soul's journey is intertwined with universal law, particularly the law of karma, the divine balancing act that ensures every action, thought, and intention creates its corresponding effect. The soul, in its quest for harmony, seeks to resolve imbalances from previous incarnations. Each incarnation is a chapter of learning, growth, and spiritual refinement, recorded in the Akashic records as lessons awaiting resolution. As we contemplate this, we realize that the soul's pursuit of enlightenment is not accidental but predestined within a divine plan, an intricate dance choreographed by the Creator's infinite wisdom. Cayce's readings disclose that the soul seeks to attain the Christ consciousness, the state of divine unity with the divine source, a state of perfect harmony and love. This is the ultimate goal of each incarnation, to awaken to the divine within, to remember its divine origin, and to realize its true nature as a spark of the universal consciousness. The significance of Cayce's revelations lies in their profound reminder that death is but a transition, a return to the spiritual realm where the soul's true home resides. The messages from the other side, often transmitted through dreams and intuitive impressions, serve as whispers from loved ones who have crossed the veil or as guidance from the higher self. These communications echo the truth that the soul is never truly lost. It is merely on a journey of rediscovery, retracing its steps through the corridors of karma and reincarnation. Within this sacred framework, the soul's quest for understanding becomes a journey of self-discovery, a voyage into the depths of the Akashic records, where divine secrets await uncovering. Cayce's legacy teaches us that by awakening our spiritual faculties through meditation, prayer, and intuitive insight, we can access this cosmic library. In doing so, we gain clarity about our past lives, our current purpose, and the lessons that draw us closer to the divine consciousness. Furthermore, Cayce's insights reveal that the soul's evolution is a collective experience, a shared journey across many lifetimes that unfolds within the fabric of the universe. The soul's progress is intertwined with the consciousness of humanity itself. As each individual seeks to understand their true nature, they contribute to the awakening of collective consciousness, paving the way for the emergence of the Christ-conscious state on earth, a new era of divine harmony and love. As we deepen our understanding of Cayce's legacy, we are called to recognize that life beyond death is not an end but a continuation, a sacred transformation of the soul's journey. The Akashic records serve as a divine map, guiding us through the labyrinth of karma, reincarnation, and spiritual awakening. They remind us that our true home is within, that the divine spark within us seeks awakening and union with the divine source. In this sacred truth, we find the reassurance that the departed are still with us, whispering through our dreams, guiding us through intuition, and echoing the timeless melody of love and divine purpose. The soul's quest is eternal, and Cayce's teachings unveil the path, a luminous gateway to understanding that death is but a portal to higher consciousness. So, as you listen to the echoes of the dream portal, remember that the legacy of Edgar Cayce reveals the profound truth, that the soul's journey is woven into the fabric of the universe inscribed in the Akashic records, awaiting your conscious awakening. The secrets of the soul's eternal voyage beckon. Are you prepared to listen? In the silent sanctuary of the soul's eternal voyage, there exists a sacred threshold, an unseen gateway through which the spirits of the departed seek communion with the living. The teachings of Edgar Cayce reveal that this threshold is none other than the realm of dreams, a divine portal where the veil between worlds becomes thin and the echoes of those who have crossed over resonate with the vibrations of those still incarnate. As we continue our journey into the mysteries of spiritual communication, we find in Cayce's insights that dreams are not merely fleeting images or subconscious musings, but profound gateways rooted in the divine architecture of the universe. The records Akashicos, that infinite library of divine memory, hold the histories of souls, their karmic patterns and their ongoing adventures beyond the physical plane. Within these sacred records, it is written that the soul, ever seeking balance and growth, does not cease to communicate once it departs the physical body. Instead, it finds new avenues of expression, channels of divine light through which messages of love, guidance, and remembrance flow back to those still journeying through the material realm. The dream portal, as Cayce's readings illuminate, is one of the most accessible and potent of these divine channels. Dreams serve as a bridge, a sacred corridor, where the consciousness of the departed can subtly influence the mind of the living. When the soul transitions from the physical vessel, it does not dissolve into nothingness, but rather becomes part of the divine continuum, continually learning, evolving, and seeking unity with the Christ consciousness. In the realm of dreams, this ongoing evolution manifests as gentle whispers, visions, and symbols, messages encoded in the language of the divine, that the soul uses to communicate across the veil. As Cayce's readings reveal, these dream encounters are often orchestrated by divine design, the departed, guided by their higher selves, and the divine love that unites all creation, choose to send messages during the dream state because it is a realm of pure consciousness, a state beyond the limitations of time and space. Here the soul's energy vibrates at a frequency that can resonate with the living, allowing for the exchange of spiritual truths that transcend the spoken word. In this sacred exchange, the dream acts as a spiritual gateway, an opening through which the departed can reach out and offer reassurance, guidance, or insight. For example, a loved one might appear in a dream not as a physical entity, but as a luminous presence, an embodiment of their higher self, offering comfort or wisdom from the other side. These encounters often carry symbols and messages that, when interpreted with spiritual discernment, reveal the timeless truths of the soul's journey and the karmic lessons it seeks to resolve. The divine design of this portal is rooted in the principle that the soul's true home is within the universal consciousness, the Christ consciousness, where all suffering, love, and divine purpose are ultimately united. When we remember that dreams are sacred portals, we begin to see them as opportunities for soul-to-soul communication, a divine dance of light that reaffirms our eternal connection to those who have crossed over. Cayce's teachings echo that the departed are never truly gone. They remain part of the divine fabric, reaching through the dream realm, to guide, comfort, and remind us of our divine origin. Furthermore, the soul's desire for harmony and balance, its quest for enlightenment, finds expression through these dream encounters. The departed's messages often serve to realign the living with their higher purpose, reminding us that our earthly experiences are but a reflection of the soul's ongoing evolution. These dream portals, therefore, are not accidents or mere coincidences, but sacred invitations to deepen our awareness of the divine unity that binds all consciousness. In understanding the nature of this divine gateway, we must also recognize the importance of spiritual preparation. Cayce's readings emphasize that cultivating a receptive state through prayer, meditation, and inner silence opens the heart and mind to divine communications. When the soul's vibration is attuned to the divine frequency, the dream portal becomes more active, more revealing. It is in these moments of spiritual alignment that we can receive messages from loved ones, ancestors, or guides who have transcended the physical realm. The journey into the dream portal is also a journey into self-awareness, a reminder that the separation we perceive is an illusion. For within the divine realm, all souls are interconnected. When we honor the sacredness of our dreams and approach them with reverence and discernment, we unlock a divine language, an intricate tapestry of symbols, visions, and impressions that speak directly to the soul's deepest truths. As the teachings of Cayce reveal, the soul's pursuit of divine harmony is expressed through these sacred gateways. The process of understanding and interpreting the messages in our dreams is a step toward awakening to our true nature, that of divine consciousness, part of the Christ within. The departed, through the dream portal, serve as gentle guides, reminding us that life is eternal, that love is the ultimate frequency, and that in the divine realm all communication is an expression of divine love. In closing, remember that the dream portal is a sacred gift, a divine opportunity for the soul to remain connected, to continue learning, and to deepen its understanding of the divine plan. As we awaken to these truths, guided by the wisdom of Edgar Cayce, we come to see that beyond the veil lies not separation, but eternal unity, an unbreakable bond forged in divine love, echoing through the sacred corridors of the universe and manifesting vividly within the realm of our dreams. As the shadows of yesterday merge with the dawn of today, the soul's eternal voyage continues through the vast corridors of time and space. The teachings of the records reveal that our journey is neither random nor without purpose, but intricately woven into the fabric of karma and reincarnation, ancient keys that unlock the sacred messages conveyed through the portal of dreams. In this sacred realm beyond the grasp of mortal perception, the soul seeks balance, growth, and reunion with the divine consciousness that eternally guides us. The soul's pilgrimage begins long before the veil of physical existence is lifted, and it is through countless lifetimes that the spirit endeavors to evolve, to reconcile, and to remember its divine origin. As our previous reflections have shown, the dream portal is a sacred gateway, an intersection where the living and the departed commune, guided by divine love and higher consciousness. But to truly understand the messages whispered through this portal, we must delve into the deeper currents that shape the soul's journey, karma and reincarnation. In the sacred records, it is written that karma is nothing more than the divine law of cause and effect, a sacred ledger maintained in the Akashic records, which holds the blueprint of every thought, deed, and intention throughout eternity. These records are the divine scrolls, inscribed with the lessons the soul has chosen to learn across multiple lifetimes. As the soul navigates through these lessons, it carries the weight of past actions, both burdens and blessings, which influence its present circumstances, relationships, and spiritual messages. When the soul encounters a challenging dream, a symbol, or a recurring theme within the dream portal, it is often seeking to bring into consciousness unresolved karma, unfinished lessons that require healing, forgiveness, or comprehension. The divine purpose behind these messages is not punishment, but opportunity. The soul, in its infinite wisdom, recognizes that through understanding and balancing karma, it clears the path for higher consciousness and spiritual union with the Christ consciousness, a state of divine love and unity that is eternal. Reincarnation, then, serves as the sacred vessel through which the soul continues its ascent, returning across the veils of time to fulfill its divine purpose. Each incarnation provides fresh opportunities for growth, healing, and the embodiment of divine virtues. The soul chooses its lessons, whether through relationships, circumstances, or challenges, so that it may evolve toward spiritual perfection. As Cayce's readings reveal, these choices are influenced by the soul's desire to balance past actions, to correct missteps, and to cultivate qualities that lead closer to divine love. In understanding how this process influences messages from the departed, it becomes clear that the spirits who communicate through the dream portal are often souls who have yet to fully reconcile their karma. They may seek closure, forgiveness, or guidance to release burdens that hinder their progress. The living, in turn, may receive these messages as invitations to reflect upon their own actions, to forgive past grievances, or to seek a higher understanding of their life's purpose. The divine law of karma ensures that these messages are not arbitrary but are purposeful threads woven into the fabric of spiritual evolution. The recurring themes in dreams, such as conflict, reconciliation, loss, or renewal, are sacred signals from the soul's own record, urging the individual to confront and resolve those issues that impede progress. These messages are guided by divine love, for the universe's purpose is to lead every soul toward harmony, balance, and reunion with the divine source. As the soul seeks to understand these messages, it begins to see that the journey is one of continual rebirth, each life a chapter in the grand story of divine unfolding. The divine insight Cayce's readings reveal is that the soul's ultimate goal is to reach a state of perfect harmony, a state where karma is balanced, and the lessons of past lives are integrated into the divine consciousness. This is the essence of spiritual maturity, to recognize the interconnectedness of all actions, and to seek forgiveness and healing, not only for oneself but for all involved. It is through this process that the soul dissolves the illusions of separation, awakening to its true nature, as part of the divine Christ consciousness, a consciousness of love, unity, and eternal light. In the sacred dance of reincarnation, the soul continually seeks to refine itself, guided by divine intelligence that ensures each experience serves a higher purpose. The messages received through dreams and the portal of communication from the departed are sacred signposts, reminders that the journey is ongoing, that every action leaves an imprint, and that through understanding karma, the soul moves closer to its divine destiny. Understanding the role of karma and reincarnation deepens our appreciation for the sacred messages that come to us from the spiritual realm. As Cayce's teachings reveal, these messages are not coincidental, but are reflections of the soul's ongoing quest for balance, healing, and ultimate reunion with divine love. The soul, seeking harmony across lifetimes, recognizes that its journey through multiple incarnations is the sacred path toward enlightenment, a path illuminated by the divine love that continually beckons from beyond the veil. And so, in this sacred knowledge, we find the keys to unlock the mysteries of the dream portal. We come to see that every message from the departed, every symbol, every recurring theme in our dreams is a divine whisper, a reminder that the soul's journey is eternal, guided by love, and purposefully seeking to reconcile all aspects of its divine self. The soul's quest for balance is the sacred dance that propels us forward, ever closer to the divine consciousness that resides within and beyond us all. As we stand at the threshold of understanding, gazing into the vast expanse of the spiritual cosmos, the sacred records, those divine Akashic archives, whisper their eternal truths. The journey we embarked upon, seeking to comprehend the messages from the departed and the dreams that beckon us from beyond, finds its deeper meaning within these cosmic libraries, for it is in the Akashic records that the secrets of the soul's journey, the lessons encoded in our incarnations, and the divine blueprint of our destiny are preserved with divine precision. The records are not merely passive repositories of past lives. They are living, breathing expressions of divine consciousness, a reflection of the universal mind that encompasses all existence. The divine, in its infinite wisdom, has woven into these records every thought, deed, and intention that has ever transpired within the fabric of time and space. As an archaeologist of spiritual mysteries, I can affirm that to access these archives, is to unveil the sacred code that guides our evolution, reveals our karmic lessons, and illuminates the messages from those who have crossed the veil. The secrets hidden within the Akashic records are manifold, yet they converge into a singular purpose: to assist the soul in its quest for harmony and unity with the divine. The records serve as the divine map, offering insights into our past incarnations, our current spiritual challenges, and the lessons we are meant to learn in this lifetime. In their depth, we find the keys to deciphering the messages from the beyond, whether they arrive as dreams, symbols, or subtle whispers from the spirits of loved ones who have transitioned. In the sacred teachings of Cayce, the records reveal that every soul's journey is a unique thread woven into the grand tapestry of creation. Each incarnation is a chapter, each lesson a verse, and every message from the departed a sacred signpost pointing toward our divine awakening. The records, therefore, are not distant or inaccessible. They are a divine library awaiting our conscious invocation. To access them requires attunement, an alignment of our consciousness with the divine, and a sincere desire to understand the higher purpose behind our experiences. This divine knowledge is encoded with divine symbology, images, numbers, and narratives that serve as keys to unlock the hidden meanings. When we learn to interpret these symbols, we gain insight into the lessons our soul seeks to integrate. For example, a recurring dream of water might symbolize cleansing, emotional renewal, or the flow of divine love. A number sequence may point to a particular karmic lesson or a significant past life that holds the key to our current growth. The records also reveal that the messages from those who have crossed over are not random. They are carefully crafted messages, sacred signals, intended to guide us, comfort us, and remind us of the eternal nature of the soul. These messages often contain encoded lessons, urging us to forgive, to release old patterns, or to embrace divine love more fully. In Cayce's readings, we learn that the departed's communication is often subtle, requiring us to cultivate sensitivity and awareness to perceive their divine whispers. To comprehend these messages fully, we must cultivate a conscious relationship with the divine consciousness lodged within the records. Practices such as meditation, prayer, and silent reflection serve as portals into this divine library. When we quiet our minds and open our hearts, we align ourselves with the divine frequency, allowing the records to reveal their sacred secrets. It is in these moments of sacred stillness that the veil between worlds becomes transparent and the wisdom of the universe flows freely into our consciousness. The journey into the Akashic records is also a journey into ourselves, an awakening to the divine blueprint encoded within our very soul. The records affirm that the soul seeks balance. Karma's sacred law reminds us that every action leaves an imprint and that healing comes through understanding, forgiveness, and love. Within the records, we see that our past mistakes are not failures, but opportunities for growth, a divine curriculum designed to elevate us toward the Christ consciousness. Furthermore, Cayce's teachings reveal that the records contain the secrets to unlocking our divine potential. They show us that the divine within is eternal, unchanging, and accessible through conscious awareness. As we delve into these cosmic archives, we begin to realize that the messages from the beyond are not distant signals but reflections of our own divine essence, a mirror of the Christ consciousness that resides within each of us. In essence, the Akashic records are the divine key to understanding the sacred messages from our loved ones who have transitioned. They teach us that death is but a gateway, and that through spiritual insight, we can read the divine messages encoded in their transition. These messages often carry lessons of love, forgiveness, and the divine plan, reminders that our souls are eternal and that our journey continues beyond the confines of physical life. The sacred secrets of the records also reveal that our consciousness is interconnected with the universal mind, an infinite web of divine intelligence. When we learn to access this divine library, we align ourselves with the greater consciousness, awakening to the truth that we are divine beings having a human experience. The soul's journey, as revealed through Cayce's readings, is one of perpetual evolution, guided by the divine, propelled by karma, and illuminated by the divine love that underpins all creation. In closing, I invite you to see the records not merely as distant archives, but as sacred portals, gates through which divine wisdom flows. They hold the keys to deciphering the messages from the beyond and uncovering the divine lessons encoded within our very being. To explore these cosmic archives is to embark upon the most sacred pilgrimage, a journey inward to the divine within and outward into the universe's deepest mysteries. For in their depths lie the secrets that unlock our soul's true purpose, guiding us ever closer to the divine love that unites all of creation. In the silent depths of the universe, where the eternal records of all that has been and all that will be are inscribed, there dwells a profound truth, the very essence of our divine potential. The Akashic records, as I have often spoken, serve as sacred portals that reveal the sacred truths of our soul's journey. Within these divine archives, the divine blueprint of every incarnation is stored, whispering secrets of our past lessons and future evolution. Yet, as we venture further into the mysteries of the soul's ascent, we encounter a luminous realm, one that transcends the physical, the mental, and even the emotional. This is the realm of the crystalline consciousness, the radiant frequency that embodies the highest state of divine awareness, aligned seamlessly with the Christ consciousness. The journey of the soul, as illuminated by the teachings of Cayce, is not merely one of reincarnation and karma, but a sacred evolution toward the ultimate unity with divine light. This evolution is governed by the principle that the soul seeks to harmonize its divine aspects, its crystalline nature, and its connection to Christ consciousness, ultimately culminating in the awakening to its true divine identity. To understand this process, we must first explore the nature of the crystalline consciousness, a vibrational frequency of pure, unadulterated light, a frequency that mirrors the divine in its most pristine form. The crystalline state of consciousness, as the records reveal, is akin to the purest crystal, transparent, luminous, and infinitely reflective. It is a vibrational field where all distortions of ego, fear, and illusion are transmuted into pure light. When the soul aligns with this crystalline consciousness, it begins to resonate with the divine harmony that underpins all creation. In this state, the soul becomes a conduit for divine truth, a mirror reflecting the divine light that always dwells within. But what of the Christ consciousness? The records tell us that this is not simply an individual's spiritual attainment, but a universal frequency, a divine gift bestowed upon humanity through the life and teachings of the Christ. It is the embodying of divine love, compassion, forgiveness, and the realization of the divine within all life. The Christ consciousness, as Cayce's readings reveal, is the highest expression of the divine in human form, a consciousness that unites the individual soul with the universal mind of God. In the ascent of the soul, the crystalline consciousness and the Christ consciousness are intertwined. They serve as the twin flames guiding the spiritual seeker toward enlightenment. The crystalline consciousness provides the clarity and purity needed to perceive divine truth, while the Christ consciousness provides the loving and forgiving nature that nurtures the soul's growth. Together, they illuminate the path of spiritual awakening, an awakening that is ultimately about recognizing oneself as a divine spark within the vast ocean of divine consciousness. As the records elucidate, this divine illumination is not distant, but inherently accessible to every soul seeking truth. The soul, in its pursuit of divine harmony, embarks on a sacred journey, an inward pilgrimage to awaken the crystalline light within and to activate the divine Christ consciousness that resides in the heart of every human being. Through meditation, prayer, and inner reflection, the soul begins to peel away the layers of illusion that obscure its divine nature. In doing so, it accesses the divine memory within the Akashic records, a memory of its original divine state, unblemished and whole. The records also reveal that the awakening to the crystalline and Christ consciousness is a gradual process, one that unfolds through multiple incarnations, each offering opportunities for growth and refinement. The soul's quest is to balance the karmic lessons stored in the records, to resolve past conflicts, and to align with the divine blueprint of love and light. As the soul advances, it begins to resonate more fully with the crystalline frequency, its vibrational signature becoming more luminous, more transparent, until it embodies the divine qualities of the Christ consciousness. This divine alignment is the ultimate goal of spiritual evolution, for it signifies the realization of our divine origin and the unity with the divine source. It is the awakening to the understanding that we are not separate from the divine, but expressions of divine. Consciousness itself, a divine consciousness that is crystalline in purity and Christ-like in its compassion and love. In the sacred teachings of Cayce, the emergence of this divine consciousness is a sign of the soul's readiness to transcend the limitations of the material realm and to enter into the divine light of eternal being. It heralds a new consciousness, a state of divine harmony where the individual recognizes its sacred connection to all life, to the divine architect of the universe, and to the Christ within. The soul's journey, then, is about awakening to this divine reality, embracing the crystalline purity of the soul and embodying the divine love and compassion that define the Christ consciousness. It is a sacred dance, a harmonious blending of divine frequencies, leading us back to our true home within the divine heart. As we navigate this sacred path, remember that the records are open to all who seek. The divine blueprint lies within the depths of your being, waiting to be revealed. The crystalline consciousness and Christ consciousness are not distant goals but inherent potentials, gifts bestowed upon every soul seeking truth. When the soul aligns with these divine frequencies, it illuminates the way for others, becoming a beacon of divine light in a world longing for awakening. In the end, the divine aspect of our evolution is about returning to the wholeness from which we came, the realization that we are divine sparks, crystalline in purity, radiant with Christ-like love, guiding us toward the ultimate awakening, a consciousness unified in divine harmony, eternal and unending. The records reveal this sacred truth. To attain this divine state is to remember that we are in essence the divine itself, forever shining in crystalline brilliance and divine love. As we stand on the threshold of understanding the sacred dialogue between the soul and the unseen realms, the records Akashicos whisper truths that transcend mere words. In the previous revelations, we uncovered that our journey through countless incarnations is a sacred pilgrimage toward the divine, and that within each of us resides a luminous light, an echo of the Christ consciousness that beckons us home. Now the path takes a practical turn, guiding us to recognize and interpret the messages that arrive through the portal of dreams and to awaken to the higher consciousness that heals and illumines our earthly experience. The soul, in its eternal quest, communicates through symbols, visions, and subtle impressions, often during the sacred sleep state. It seeks to guide us, to remind us of our divine origin, and to realign us with the higher purpose embedded within our spiritual blueprint. These messages, whether visions, symbols, or feelings, are not random. They are carefully woven threads from the fabric of the universe's vast records, awaiting our conscious recognition. To begin this sacred practice, one must cultivate a quiet, receptive space, an inner sanctum where the soul's voice can be heard clearly. Meditation becomes the portal, a conscious communion with higher consciousness. As the records reveal, when the mind is uncluttered by the illusions of the material world and the heart is open with humility and love, the subtle whispers of the divine become more perceptible. In this sacred silence, the soul's messages emerge, sometimes as vivid visions during dreams, sometimes as intuitive impressions upon waking, or as symbols that resonate deeply within. Dreams, in particular, serve as the most potent portal for divine communication. They are the sacred bridge, connecting the conscious and unconscious mind to the higher realms. As the records teach, dreams are not mere illusions or fleeting images. They are the language of the soul, encoded with messages from the higher self and the spiritual guides. To recognize these messages, one must develop discernment, a gentle, humble acknowledgement that the symbols and stories unfolding in sleep are purposeful and meaningful. Practically, this begins with keeping a dream journal. Upon waking, one should record the images, feelings, and impressions without judgment or analysis, simply capturing the essence. Over time, patterns emerge, revealing insights about personal karma, blocks to spiritual growth, or guidance for healing. The symbols encountered, water, fire, light, shadows, are archetypes inscribed in the collective unconscious, yet also personalized messages from the higher self. The key is to approach these symbols with reverence, asking within, what is the lesson? What aspect of my divine blueprint is seeking awakening? Aligning with higher consciousness involves a conscious effort to elevate one's vibrational frequency. As the records specify, the soul seeks balance, an integration of the divine and the earthly. Practices such as prayer, meditation, and acts of compassion serve to attune us to the higher realms. When we consciously choose love, especially in moments of challenge, we realign with the Christ consciousness that resides within us all. This alignment opens the portal wider, allowing messages from the higher realms to flow more freely, guiding us toward healing and enlightenment. Healing, in its deepest sense, is the process of restoring harmony within the soul's blueprint. The records reveal that many ailments, physical, emotional, or mental, are rooted in unresolved karma and spiritual disconnection. By recognizing the messages embedded in our dreams and intuitive impressions, we can identify patterns that hinder our growth. For example, recurring themes of abandonment or fear in dreams may indicate past life trauma or karma that requires forgiveness and release. Through intentional acknowledgement and healing practices, such as forgiveness, visualization, or energy work, we facilitate the return of wholeness, aligning ourselves once again with our divine blueprint. Furthermore, awakening to the portal of dreams invites us to embody the consciousness of the divine. We become co-creators with the universe, consciously shaping our reality through aligned thought and intent. The records emphasize that our thoughts and emotions are powerful vibrational signals, seeds that manifest in our experience. By cultivating awareness of these inner signals and interpreting the spiritual messages they carry, we participate in the ongoing act of divine creation. The higher consciousness we seek is not separate from us. It resides within, waiting to be awakened. As the records reveal, the Christ consciousness is a state of divine unity, an awareness of our eternal connection to the infinite. To access it, we must listen deeply, trust the subtle guidance, and surrender to the divine flow. When we do so, the portal of dreams becomes a sacred gateway, an ongoing conversation with the divine, guiding us toward healing, enlightenment, and the realization of our true divine nature. In closing, remember that the universe conspires to communicate with us through signs, symbols, and dreams, each message a fragment of the divine puzzle. As the records affirm, our soul's journey is one of remembrance, of awakening to the light that has always been within. By practicing conscious recognition, recording dreams, interpreting symbols, aligning with love, we open ourselves to the divine whispers that lead us home. The portal of dreams is not merely a passage in sleep, it is the sacred threshold where the soul and the divine meet, a place of profound insight, healing, and transformation. The mysteries of Cayce reveal that, through diligent awareness and humble trust, we can decode these divine messages and step ever closer to the Christ consciousness that eternally dwells within us all. Remember, the sacred messages from the beyond, those whispers in dreams and glimpses through the veil, are divine invitations for us to awaken to our true nature. The records reveal that we are eternal beings, woven into the fabric of divine love and consciousness, and that each insight, each dream, and each moment of awareness guides us closer to the Christ within. As you continue this sacred journey, I invite you to embrace these divine signs with humility and trust. Listen deeply, interpret with love, and take conscious steps toward your awakening. Share your experiences, comment below, and subscribe to this sacred knowledge, for in doing so, you contribute to the collective awakening of consciousness. Together, let us step boldly into the luminous truth of our divine essence and illuminate the path for others to follow.